Hi there. This is my progress report presentation, and I will present to you guys. So, a little introduction about myself and my team. So, my name is Tanner Spink, if you don't already know. Our team name is the Islanders. I'll explain to you later why we chose that name. So, our group number is 3. And the first name on our list, or in my group, is Samuel Candy. Second one is Christopher Clappin. And the third, Stefan Ruland. And then lastly, Timothy St. Crew. So for the first aspect of this presentation, I'll explain to you my team role. Doesn't necessarily explain to you what my other group members have, but for my team role, I am the facilitator. So this isn't, I wouldn't say it's an easy role. It is basically the backbone of our project. It's basically like the team captain of the project. So basically, a little overview of my role. So I have to manage, initiate the project, and set up tasks and meetings. So the first thing that I had to do was get a hold of my group. It wasn't easy. I'm not gonna lie. I had to email each and every one of them just to get their attention. So I had to take initiative. So it wasn't, if I didn't have that job, I don't know how our group would have been able to meet and start our project. So like I said, I have to take initiative. So one, in defining the problems. So every project, you're going to be faced with a problem. It could be anywhere between one kid in our group not being able to find information what I give him or what tasks I give him. So there's going to be problems all over the place, and I have to be the one to sit down, send them an email, and say, this is where you should start, and this is where you should look into your information. So propose an action, which I said there. So I need to figure out the action, what we need to do to figure out the problem, or fix the problem, sorry. And then I suggest the procedure and how they're going to pursue that action. To ensure the group works together and as a whole, and that the parts of the project are put together. So I need to make sure that we get meetings together, so it's not all done online. We need to work together. It can't be just one person doing all the work and having a couple kids just having it easy and not doing anything. And then I have to make sure, obviously, that the project is put together nicely and it's all organized and not just spread out all over the place and it's all worked together. So for the next slide, we have here is our preliminary findings as a group, and it can also be individually from what I found. So first I wanted to find, or I searched the web for basically any business or business related company that had low income, or the revenues were low, or as you can see here, they're low commission. So the reason for this was because we needed to, for our group project, our team group, we needed to find a way to help raise the commission of any particular business. So it was hard to narrow down what business we wanted to pursue, because we had many different things in mind. So as me, the facilitator, I wanted to reach out and ask each group member what business they thought would be good for this. So I had many different examples for this, but I found they were all too broad, and we needed to narrow down to one particular business. So we all came to agreement that we would narrow down to sports teams. So then after that, as me as a hockey fan, I thought maybe we can do an NHL team. So then I searched what the lowest income for NHL team businesses, and I discovered that in 2017-2018 season, so last year, the New York Islanders were the third worst commission in the hockey league. So the reason I chose them is because they had a lot of potential. They do have a lot of potential into raising the stakes and finding out ways to raise their income. So obviously our goal now is, as a group, is to find ways to raise commission for the owners and the players of the organization. So it's not only just I'm not gonna say the owner of the team, but like each and every player in the organization, the trainers, the players, all of them, they're on the salary base too. So we need to find ways for them to gain income as well. So we also need to find reasons for our entities for them to stay in business. So if we can't find a way for them to raise their income, they basically might go out of business. So if they keep dropping down and we don't take initiative, something drastically might happen. So for this next slide, I'll briefly explain to you what my individual progress has been thus far. So firstly, we were assigned by our teacher to reach out to each group member and to introduce ourselves. So immediately after that introduction, I told my group members that I would be the facilitator, just because I wanted to take action and let them know that I wanted to get things done. So I gave each group member their individual roles. Well, I actually gave them an option to choose what roles they wanted to, and if not, then I would assign them what role to do. So next, I briefly searched the web for more information on the New York Islanders. So I just wanted to figure out all the information there was to the Islanders and the organization, and their fan base, and what there was, the flaws, the pros, the cons, and what their business had ups and downs throughout the years. So after that, I created a little outline for the group to base their research off of. So in order for them, my group members, to have like a base and know like what to research and what aspects I wanted them to find out for me, I just needed to assign each and every one of them like a broad, I want to say like category for the Islanders organization. So I gave tasks to the group members and made sure the assignments were organized. So we've completed two or three assignments so far, and I had them send them to me just so I could see like what they've done, and I can reorganize it just so it's neat and tidy. So this second last slide here, I'll explain to you briefly what our future tasks will be. So I'll provide an overview of the Islanders organizations by completing the 6 tasks. So we were assigned 6 tasks, basically a written portion of our project, and they're basically like 1 page each, but they're all like why we chose this organization, what like an overview of so basically the Islanders. So we're gonna have small little tasks that I'm gonna assign roles for each group member. I'm obviously going to complete some of those tasks as well. I'm not gonna just give the group the roles. So complete as a group the SWOT analysis, so that is coming up. We need to get that completed. The strength, the weakness, the threat, and the opportunity. So the opportunity, basically what the opportunity is for our organization, and so forth for the other ones. So we create reasons how we will increase the team's revenue. So like an example for this is like ticket prices. So we might find that we need to, I looked into it, that the ticket prices have actually dropped from the Islanders, and so maybe we need to raise ticket prices to gain more revenue, and maybe drop venues, so like the beer, the popcorn, all the food and venues. So maybe we might fluctuate those based depend on our what we choose as a group. Also, I looked into how old the stadium was for like the arena for the Islanders, and it's very old, and it only holds like 15,000. So we might look into maybe putting aside money each year to building a new stadium for more fans to fit more for ticket prices and gain revenue for that. So our last slide, I'll just explain to you our minor complications that we had as a team so far. So originally, it was very difficult to gain the group's attention, which I said earlier in the presentation. It is tough because it's an online course. It's not based in the class where you can just sit next to them and say where we're going to go next with the project. So I like the emailing is definitely difficult. Not everyone checks their emails, so it is hard that way. But we managed to work around it. Another thing, so being the facilitator, it is challenging and requires a bit of patience. Like I said, with the emails, waiting for the emails for them to reply, what they want to do next. So it is finding new ways to work around that and maybe find a spot for us to meet in person to figure it out. So the last minor difficulty was choosing the business we wanted to work with. Like I explained earlier, we all had different opinions on which business or what we wanted to manage, just because we all have different looks on what we thought would work. And I think that what we chose, the Islanders, it will be good, and I think you will like what we have to say about it. Thank you for listening to my presentation, and that's all.